Thank you very much for participating in this issue, Stefan, of Kiel Life Science. We have a 10-year anniversary issue, and which is focused, of course, on the life sciences, on the future and on the past. And I thought it's we have invited 10 junior research uh, colleagues here from the Kiel Life Sciences, but I thought it's a good idea also and important and informative to include you as one of the founding fathers of this research focus in this issue. And when I think back, KLS was founded with great skepticism of the faculties, but then still did its job, and now we have a functioning platform. When I ask you, can you think back what were the starting conditions and the prerequisites? You were here and I came later. What were the basic prerequisites for it that all became at the end a vibrant research focus at the Kiel University? Um, there were certain conditions existing, and there were a lot of hindering things, but there were also few components which were important. What were these components, Stefan?
I think it's a natural element, actually, that we have a collaboration between medical life sciences and biological life sciences because, to a large part, we address the same phenomena, maybe with a different angle for the discussion of our findings, sometimes a different angle also in the way of exploitation, but basically, we're interested in the same things. It is phenomenology of human life. And the phenomenology of human life includes disease, obviously, is our focus. And the phenomenology of human life is for biologists, in my eyes, much broader. So with that, basically, we try to create a molecular underpinning and understanding how that works. So talking to each other sounds natural, at least if I would tell that somebody on the streets. But the reality, as you know, is more difficult. There is a certain momentum of, I say, tension always between biologists and physicians, different styles of research, different styles of presentations are a part of that. And when I think we started in Kiel, we tried to overcome these barriers. And I think this was possible for two reasons. One reason is that the university at that time had a setting of being a university of connected scientific cultures. So the university wanted to promote crossing the barrier between faculties, artificial barriers that are only existing in the minds of people. And the other one is personal contact, and this comes to you and me because we both came almost at the same time, and we both found it actually interesting to look to the other side, basically, of the table, look to the next dish, and say, what is eaten there, and then to cook together. So that's what we decided to do, and we brought many barriers down that sound trivial, like, for example, that biologists can do their thesis in medicine and are getting a biological degree, or that biologists can become full professors in medicine in a medical faculty, although they are not doctors. Or that physicians can take a thesis over in biology, which doesn't happen too often, but it happens from time to time. They take a thesis in biology because they're so interested in evolution, for example, or microbiome, that they find it more useful to go to one of these groups. So we basically bring back to the university with this the old style where we came from, a university of connected faculties. Faculties are an invention of the 17th or 18th century after universities have started. I think, but faculty barriers came much later.
For me as a biologist, it was and it is always important to have contact with the real world, and that is the medical research. Has Kiel's medicine view regarding biology changed over the years now? I mean, the biological research done here, is that now different from previous, or is more intense?
I think we've made both a big step forward. I think the medical faculty made a big step forward into the molecular science of inflammation research, which I think was greatly promoted by this collaboration. And I think the biology made a big step forward into the molecular biology of complex phenotypes, because when I came, I think not every biologist had yet knowledge of PCR. that was, back old historic times. And, it's always best if you are going together towards new aims, then you're running faster. And that's what both sides did here. And I think we also developed new topics. I think to speak about disease has become commonplace in biology now. Disease is one of the phenotypes which are looked at. It's just one of the multiple functions of an organism, or dysfunctions, or however we call that. And I think also in terms of the medicine, we've started to have a new angle, for example, to evolution. We have a professorship for evolutionary medicine, probably only based on that contact we have here, and which has brought that thinking also into medicine.
Extending that point a bit, is the research focus going in the right direction in terms of topics or program content, and maybe also structurally?
I think we're at a critical point at the moment where the university has to accompany on further growth. We have two cluster proposals, one competitive renewal, the other one a fresh proposal, both basically coming from the same environment. This is heavy loading for the university. We have erected platforms that have national visibility, sequencing, for example, very soon metabolome and microbiome. And the university has to learn that you have to put more water on the plants if they're growing fast.
Yeah, but the university has to get the water from somewhere.
That is something which in a well-done plant nursery happens. Otherwise, they go bankrupt. I would see that as an obligation of a university to promote growth, especially when international visibility is reached. There are not too many fields in such a university, even the big ones in Germany, where international visibility is achieved. And here, that's the case. But both sides, basically, of the players here we have in KLS. But we forgot a third player. And the third player is our colleagues from agriculture and nutrition. Because at the end of the day, I think, and this is now commonplace, but wasn't commonplace when we both started, nutrition plays a major role in directing phenomenology, including disease. And it's not the direct action of nutrition, more cholesterol or less, that is boring. It is the interaction between the outside of the complex organism to the inside. And that happens at that interface where the food comes in, including digestion of food, including the microbiome, and everything that hangs to this. So I think we have a third player here, and that's our agricultural and nutrition faculty that I think has grown also much stronger than they used to be. They've also achieved now international visibility. And for example, our metabolome activities, they are deeply integrated because that's something which is also very important for that faculty.
I fully agree. I mean, the growth, you can be skeptical about growth, but if the growth is connected with focus, as it is here, and if the growth is connected with a focus which is interdisciplinary, coming from three different faculties, then I think this is a unique selling point, and the university has to.
It is, I wouldn't say half the university, it's more than half of the university if you look at third-party funding and if you look at literature output, but not everything is that. We know that. That's not completely comparable between faculties, although it's used in a lot of rankings today. In terms of size, scientists, students, and so on, I think we are nearing half of the university with this activity.
That brings me to a little bit of worry about, about what's not so functioning so well and what can be done better. One thing which comes immediately in mind is if I look around and if I travel, that we think we are doing very good here and we are very visible. I had an international conference last week here, also with a satellite workshop on nutrition organized by the agricultural faculty. It was a great success. Sometimes I have the feeling the rest of the world doesn't know much about us yet. So then it's maybe an element of there's a need of doing more in this type of we are here and we are good. Are there? What do you think about components of this Schwerpunkt of this research area here, which could be further developed or which are maybe even at the moment completely missing?
I think there are always two elements here. One is I think we have to be always on our toes and not rest on our success. I think we are very good, but we also have to be the first ones to invent the next thing. The second point is that, of course, Kiel has a low visibility. this low visibility comes just from the geographical place we are in. If you're not in Berlin or Munich or Heidelberg, which are traditional cities everybody knows, not just for the university follows that path, then I think you're always under-recognized. So we have to do more. I agree with you.
Nevertheless, I think when what we can do, what you do in organizing international meetings, inviting key speakers, people leave this place and say, wow. My feeling always is that was from the very beginning. And I think it was one of the first things which you organized. And then I had a colleague here from Berlin or somewhere. He said, wow, if you go to Cologne or to Heidelberg, well, yes, you expect a lot. And so, leaving the place again, we're saying, wow, there must be something very special. So that's an advantage of this
Yeah,
place.
a bit comes with infrastructures. I think we have seen a good time when the state of Schleswig-Holstein was also providing adequate infrastructures for communication between scientists and to the outside world. That's small size infrastructure like research center, large size infrastructure like lecture halls and other things. The state of Schleswig-Holstein should not rest to do this because we have not much more to offer here. The problem that we are at the outer skirts, outside at the border of Germany, affects all aspects of our public life. So if we do not offer people in Schleswig-Holstein a reason to be here and to be trained here, to stay here, the chance to get people into the north is much smaller than if we would be Munich, where you could wait of people walking by. So a continuous investment in excellence and the commitment to bring this excellence to the next generation is, I think, the prime task of the university and also of KLS in our field.
Yeah, I fully agree. Brings me to maybe the last point, but you are heading a major, very international, very visible research unit at a Cluster of Excellence. And you founded as Cluster of Excellence, and we wish you all very good success in the next application period.
We wish you both success. Our cluster of excellence, as you know, has given birth to an evolution cluster after we had this for two funding rounds, and the evolution was growing so fast in science, manpower, successes. We have now two clusters that go for the same kind of experience enterprise.
What's your vision of the next 5 or 10 years of the life sciences here in this area? Where will they be or where should they be going?
I think we should connect our dense interaction. I hope we have two clusters at the end, two excellence clusters, and we can build a strong connection and push us on a higher level. I think the excellence cluster funding has been a big instrument, a big help to establish what we have. If we would establish two clusters, and once we have them, make sure that we work the same way together on the main questions, now with the power of two of these enterprises, then I think we would be in really good shape and could go also on the next level of exponential growth.
Thank you very much for this optimistic view. I share it with you. Thank you very much for sharing your views on Kiel Life Sciences, Stefan, and for all your engagement you did here. Thank you so much.
I thank you.